Oh, introduce yourself.
My name is Vicky, and welcome to the Ashes to Rubies conversational podcast on life in recovery.
Hi, and I'm John.
You're my co-host.
I'm your co-host.
This is my co-host.
Am I your co-host? Is there a difference between host and co-host?
Co-host.
Or is there one a host and one's a co-host? Or is there, if there's two, it's always a co-host and a co-host?
Correct.
So there's never a host and a co-host?
You'd have a host and a guest.
But you have to have two hosts, then they're both co-hosts. Okay, so then we're co-hosts.
Co means share.
Welcome. We're co-hosts. Wow, we're tricky. Eh? Anything exciting? What's today? Wednesday. It's June 30th. June 30th.
The end of June.
The end of June.
And
halfway through the year.
No. Oh yeah.
No, we're literally halfway through the year. We're at the halfway mark. Tomorrow is Canada Day. Big party. If you're not from Ottawa, then you might not understand Canada Day. In Ottawa, like 1 billion people meet on Parliament Hill, and it's total chaos and confusion.
Not this year.
Not last year. Last year, I think there was fireworks. Not this year. There's nothing this year.
Last year, they had fireworks at 8 undisclosed locations across the city. And so you just had to kind of figure out, they said the general areas. So they showed us a map of there's going to be fireworks here. And so you could just go watch them.
This year, there's no fireworks?
I don't know.
We watched them at the Zibi Island.
The article that I found said that there was going to be virtual fireworks on a television program.
Fireworks? like the
that you could watch online.
Like the virtual fireplace?
No, it would be like a pre-recorded fireworks show.
That's dumb.
I know, I agree.
So there's nothing at our beach? There's nothing at Peachtree Island?
I don't think so.
Man, we got to make up our own Canada Day. Aren't stores open today?
I have no idea.
Man, you've been tuned out.
I have not been watching the news. I don't know where our COVID numbers are at.
Sometimes I watch the news and I still couldn't tell you what it's happening.
I believe that our some of our restrictions have lifted, but I have not looked. So, but that's okay. That's because I just don't need to know. It doesn't affect me, and so because I'm going to continue to live my life the way that I'm living it. And meet outdoors safely.
I heard that in early recovery. Somebody said, I don't watch the news and it riles me up too much and I'm too immature to watch the news. And if something is so important that it's going to have to change my life, somebody will tell me before and then I'll try to tune into the news.
Someone will tell me. And ideally, I can grow more emotionally mature.
Until that time.
But until such a time, I need to just not.
Until such a time, I don't watch the news. No, I agree. The news can be very polluting. I like to skim
headlines. I skim the news headlines. I do. I am very aware of what's going on and definitely paying attention.
Who's on our chat?
So.
Good morning, Cheryl from
BC.
Morning,
Cheryl.
Is she in BC or Alberta?
She is. She's in BC.
Yep. Oh, the heat wave. Man, that heat wave.
She says they don't have the same humidity as here, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, we're in the sauna of Canada.
They're in the Okanagan.
The Okanagan Valley, where all the apples and the mangoes and
me and my kayak want to fly out and
pineapples. I don't think mangoes. Do mangoes grow in Canada?
I have no idea.
No idea.
So, are we going to do a reading today?
Yeah, we're going to do a reading.
Okay,
are we going to do a reading tomorrow, even though it's a holiday and it's Canada Day? We should do a Canada Day celebration podcast. What do we do? Podcast. Accepting change.
All right.
Good morning, Megan. Good morning, Tim. How'd that brisket turn out? Well, it was 16 pounds of brisket. I think I gave too much away. No, that's selfishness. I don't want to record that. I want to be a better person right now. I gave lots away and we've eaten lots. I think the best part about it was the tacos. We made tacos out of it. And I thought that was really good with mayonnaise, coleslaw.
Start over.
No, not mayonnaise. Mango, coleslaw, and sweet pickles. They were really good. But brisket wouldn't be at the top of my
smoker game.
It was good, but it was expensive for what it was worth. Pork belly, ribs.
I believe
chicken.
That's because you have not perfected the brisket yet.
Ouch.
I know, I'm sorry, but It was your first try. You're an amateur.
Okay, well, you keep buying the meat and I'll keep putting it on the smoker. Team effort.
It is very expensive.
Oh, good morning, Yvonne.
What we got.
Yeah, it was a little pricey for the.
It was kind of comparable.
It was
to
$100 for 16 pounds, which is that ridiculous? Yeah.
No, it fed a lot of people. It was several meals for us, but we also gave it away. Yeah. However, the type of meat that it is, I would put in the pulled pork category. Mm-hmm. I make pulled pork. I make a really good pulled pork.
Yeah, it was.
So to me, that's not like earth-shattering. I feel like brisket might be something that I need to just buy from somewhere else.
I think that there's a spiritual concept is weighing on my heart right now, and it has to do, you can't keep what you don't give away. Mm-hmm. Doesn't apply to brisket. Like I'm not keeping it by giving it away. But maybe down the road, I will be blessed with like new brisket and more.
Somebody
brisket,
will show us like
somebody will like bring us a brisket, and it's like
it's worth it. Okay, too much food talk. This is not, I regret to inform you, a food podcast.
Tim threw there's passion there, obviously.
Okay, this is going to be more about recovery, relationship, our marriage, how we worked through stuff, but also concepts of emotional, spiritual recovery.
Yeah.
So today's reading is from the Codependent No More book, and it is called Accepting Change. Oh. I have such a hard time looking at the camera and not the screen. One day, my mother and I were working together in the garden. We were transplanting some plants for the third time. Grown from seed in a small container, the plants had been transferred to a larger container, then transplanted into the garden. Now, because I was moving, we were transplanting them again. Inexperienced as a gardener, I turned to my green-thumbed mother. "Isn't this bad for them?" I said. As we dug them up and shook the dirt from their roots, "Won't it hurt these plants, being uprooted and transplanted so many times?" "Oh no," my mother replied. "Transplanting doesn't hurt them. In fact, it's good for the ones that survive. That's how their roots go strong. Their roots will grow deep and they'll make strong plants." Often, I've felt like those small plants uprooted and turned upside down. Sometimes I've endured the change willingly, sometimes reluctantly, but usually my reaction has been a combination. "Won't this be hard on me?" I ask. "Wouldn't it be better if things remained the same?" That's when I remember my mother's words. That's how the roots grow strong and deep. So our prayer for today: God, help me remember that during times of transition, my faith and myself are being strengthened.
Such a good reading today for me. That just reminds, like, one of the impact of that is like not all the plants will survive. So like there's going to actually be death and an acceptance, and so that is hard. So parts of us, what it spoke to me is parts of me have to die, that I'm clinging on to the past. But the reality is I have to accept change to be able to grow, because recovery and a spiritual life and new principles is actually about growing and not maintaining. I have to maintain the thing that makes me grow, and that's my relationship with God. So I grow. And so running a rehab center for 8-9 years, I would say this to the guys all the time, because in early recovery, like any change, like you change the mealtime a little bit, you change like what we're going to do in the afternoon. Somebody cancels their teaching, and so now we're going to do some like physical labor, or we're going to go for a walk. Oh my, it's like almost a mutiny, and everybody's like cussing you out, and everybody's like, they're careful, but they're like stabbing you behind the back, and everybody's complaining. And I'm like, guys, you have to accept change. So it's easy to say it, but then when I apply it to my life, it's like,
you loved change.
Oh, change is hard. And then it's like when COVID hits, it's like we have to accept change, and we have to accept the rules, and we have to accept the changing of the rules. And then like there's nonsense rules that get changed 5 other times, and then there's injustice for the restaurateurs, and it's like, imagine having to accept all these changes. But if I'm always resisting and I'm always fighting, that's not a place of recovery, where recovery gives me freedom from fighting anything and everyone. And it brings me into a place of neutrality. So I'm not like having these highs and lows. I'm kind of in the middle of my emotional stability or sobriety, I guess.
Well, the unavoidable thing is that life is all about change, whether we want it or not. Our health changes, our physical bodies change over time, and we're either like growing or declining, and then business changes. Like, we're all different human beings. We all interact with each other differently. There's just so much that changes. And I can embrace it, which is what I did in the last year and a bit. And I've actually heard that from lots of other people too, who really dug in or really embraced like a new rhythm, not necessarily initially, and had a great conversation with a young man who deals with significant mental health challenges. And, he said like the first 6 months were really, really hard. And then he said something changed, and I just grew and like looked for opportunity to grow and really make the most of the time and embrace. And he's really come quite
It's cool to see
alive.
like when people accept the change, and it's like, what am I accepting? Like the experience that I have 5 years ago or 3 years ago, am I just clinging on to that experience of recovery or of God? But I'm not willing to accept a new experience. And so what am I clinging on to? Am I clinging on to the past, or what's causing me not to accept change? Where is there resistance? Where am I fearful? Because the experience that I've had with God, it's going to continue to change my life and grow my life. And so we grow deep. We need new pots and new soil. Nutrients. And so I guess that's the meditation, is where am I resistant? Where am I having fear of change? All of those things. I think they're all normal, but when the change is going to strengthen and grow us, then let's not have fear hold us back. Let's not have our own self-will hold us back. So that's a good reminder today.
And then what do we do when we're scared of change?
Cry. Eat brisket. Pray.
Because I think that's the biggest
thing. Go
right?
to others.
Like, change, for me, I even recognized like I'm kind of navigating, thinking through something, and I'm like, oh, am I anxious about this? Or is it just new and unknown? And there's a little bit of excitement, but it's new and unknown, and I'm uncertain. And so is this actually like anxiety, or is this uncertainty? Like, do I even know the difference between anxiety and uncertainty? Like, uncertainty is actually okay, because I need to ask myself, like, is this actually scary? Is this actually like, could it be harmful? And when I eliminate all of those, okay, there's no negative here. This isn't harmful. This isn't scary. It's unknown. It's uncertain.
Okay. You're figuring it out there. Okay, good stuff. All right. Have a great afternoon. Have a great 24 hours. We will maybe see you tomorrow. Happy Canada Day. If we don't, wash your hands, keep the peace, and be of good behavior, and shower the world with God's love and joy to the people around you.
And if you don't know that saying, you should be really proud of yourself. It means that you've never stood in front of a judge.
Yeah. Join us for our open recovery meeting at noon Eastern, and it's on Zoom. So Joanne is speaking today on passing on the message.
The link is in our About section.
Yeah. We will see you at noon, if not tomorrow. If not